took only a moment to plot the radio coordinates onto a map. Spike, the young human, put his finger on a small range of low hills.
The Decepticons have set themselves up somewhere there,
he said. Spike's father was still studying the map.
This area was once famous for its stone quarries. They're all abandoned now, but an abandoned quarry would be just the place for the Decepticons to work undisturbed. It might be worth having a look.
That will be difficult,
said Optimus Prime.
They will be on their guard and will have lookouts posted. This is quite a problem.
We have another problem,
said Spike.
You Autobots don't eat, but humans do. Groceries are getting low. Dad and I could do with going into town to stock up.
I'll take you,
said Ironhide.
I'm built for carrying groceries and I enjoy a trip into town.
Next morning, Ironhide set off with Spike and his father. Spike was behind the wheel. There was a country town some miles from Autobot headquarters. They reached it before midday and parked Ironhide while they went off with their shopping list.
Hey, you guys,
said Ironhide as they packed more goods inside him.
Ever think of going on a diet? It would do you good, and it would sure take some of the strain off my suspension.
We appreciate your effort,
said Spike.
And for a treat, we're going to get you a can of super lubricant.
Gee, thanks,
said Ironhide. Spike was coming out of the garage shop when a notice caught his eye. It announced a car rally to be held in a few days' time and showed a map of the course. It passed through the hills along back roads, right through the area where the Decepticons had set up their new base. This might be just what the Autobots were looking for. Back at base, Spike explained his idea to Optimus Prime.
On the day of the rally, the back roads will be busy with cars. The Decepticons can't stop all traffic because it would reveal their presence. I suggest that we take part in the rally.
Good thinking, Spike,
said Optimus Prime.
Jazz can be our entry in the rally, with you as driver. Transformed, I can easily transport an Autobot battle unit ready to strike when you and Jazz locate the Decepticons.
Spike's father had been studying the map once more.
The route crosses the line of an old railway,
he said.
And that line leads to one of the old quarries, the only one big enough to be shown on the map. My guess is that the Decepticons are holed up there.
Optimus Prime set about issuing detailed instructions to the Autobots who were to form the battle unit. Ratchet called to Jazz.
Come with me. If you're going rallying, you'll have to be in top condition. I'll give you a complete tune-up.
On the day of the rally, the Autobots left their base early. Spike traveled as driver in Jazz, who had transformed into his sports car shape for the occasion. Spike's father was in the cab of Optimus Prime's articulated truck. The rest of the Autobot battle unit were inside the truck. The town square from which the rally was to start was crowded with people. Flags flew, a band played, and marshals guided the competitors to the start. As a late entry, Spike was one of the last to start. At last, Jazz stood on the starting line, his engine revving. The starter counted down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And dropped the flag. With a roar of exhaust and a screech of tires, Jazz shot across the line. Spike pretended to drive until they had left the crowds behind. Then he took out the map again. The old railway and quarry were situated about halfway through the third stage of the rally course. He spoke to Jazz.
If the Decepticons are in the old quarry, they will be watching the road near it. I want to look at the quarry on foot. You will have to drop me off without the Decepticons guessing that you are not a proper rally car.
It'll be tricky.
Said Jazz.
Dangerous, too. After I've dropped you, I'll carry on for a bit, then come back and join you across country. You need me to communicate with Optimus Prime and the battle unit.
Quiet now,
said Spike.
There's a checkpoint coming up.
As they cleared the second checkpoint, Spike said,
Any time now.
The road wound through the hills, with thick woods on either side. Then they were running steeply downhill. Ahead, the road swung left, round a blind corner. And round the corner, there was the dull glint of rusty metal across the road.
That's it.
Cried Spike.
The old railway. Slow down, Jazz.
Jazz dropped down to third, then to second gear. Spike had the door open ready, and Jazz braked for a moment. The sports car slowed, and Spike threw himself onto the grass verge. As he rolled over and over, he heard Jazz accelerate up the next hill and into the distance. With any luck, a Decepticon lookout would not realize that the car had slowed right down, nor notice that it no longer had a driver. Spike rose to his feet. He looked carefully around, then began to follow the rusty railway track up to the quarry. Spike crept stealthily from tree to tree as he followed the track. It was very quiet. There was no hum of machinery, no sound of voices. He kept his eyes open for the shine of metal, but there was nothing. At the top of the long slope, he found the quarry. It was deserted, both by men and Decepticons. Everything was overgrown. There were the ruins of several buildings and a stone-crushing plant. On the rusty rails stood an abandoned train of half a dozen rusty hopper wagons. At that moment, Jazz came back, appearing from among the trees.
They're not here,
said Spike. He took out his map again.
I bet that's where they are.
He cried excitedly.
We went the wrong way. The railway leads to an old tunnel. Quick, see if you can call up Optimus Prime.
Good thinking, Spike.
Said the Autobot leader when Spike explained about the tunnel.
The Decepticons are bound to have fortified the tunnel mouth, but your dad says that railway tunnels have air shafts. We'll surprise them by dropping in. Stand by for further instructions.
I'd like to take a look,
said Jazz.
Same here,
said Spike. The two made their way cautiously back down to the road and across it. They followed the winding railway cutting. And there was the tunnel. The Decepticons had partly cleared away the undergrowth, and the tunnel was brightly lit. Complex machinery glowed with power as preparations went ahead for the ion drive test. Jazz's radio crackled. It was Optimus Prime.
We have located a hidden air shaft. We are about to launch our attack. Stand by to give support.
Nothing happened for a moment. Then Soundwave's alarm call echoed from the tunnel.
Alarm! Alarm! Intruders! Autobot intruders!
At Optimus Prime's command, the Autobots dropped through the air shaft, firing their weapons as they went. Caught by surprise, the Decepticons retreated. Then Megatron's voice rang out above the firing.
Stand firm, Decepticons! We are fighting for our return to Cyberdrive!
Quickly, the Decepticons rallied. They took cover among the machinery. The Autobots, on the other hand, were exposed in an empty section of the tunnel under the glare of the lights. Optimus Prime acted swiftly.
The lights!
He cried.
Shoot out the lights!
A blast of Autobot fire shattered the lights. Under cover of the darkness, they now found the Decepticons easy targets against the purple glow from the test equipment. But as soon as the Autobots tried to get close, they were driven back each time. Optimus Prime called up Jazz on the radio.
Create a diversion,
he ordered.
Welcome!
Replied Jazz.
I'll draw them off with my photon rifle.
Then Spike's voice sounded in the radio.
Can you hold their attention just a little longer? I have an idea. When you get the word, get out of the tunnel fast.
What's the plan?
Said Jazz.
The wagons,
said Spike.
Get me back to the quarry as fast as you can.
Mystified, Jazz transformed, and as he bumped his way back up the old railway track, Spike explained. Jazz skidded to a halt, and Spike leapt out. He ran to the first of the wagons, jumped up, and heaved on the rusted brake wheel. He did the same on the others as Jazz transformed back to his robot shape. Jazz watched as a panting Spike pushed against the buffer of the last wagon.
You've done your bit, Spike.
He said.
Allow me.
And with one mighty thrust of his metal muscles, he sent the whole train of wagons rumbling along the track, out of the quarry, and down the long slope to the tunnel. As the wagons sped faster and faster, Jazz signaled,
Jazz to Autobots! Now! Get out fast!
The trucks rumbled across the road, lurched round the last bend, and with a roar burst into the tunnel. Decepticons were scattered in all directions. The steel hoppers plowed through the iron drive test rig, and the whole complex exploded in a blinding glare of released energy. In a cloud of dust, the tunnel collapsed on top of the wreckage. Spike and Jazz joined the other Autobots.
Do you think that this is the end of the Decepticons?
Asked Spike.
I'd like to think so,
Said Optimus Prime.
but I think we'll just have to wait and see.